Great to have you. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join me here so we can tell people, number one, about you, and number two, about the project Anderson County.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Buzz. Man, we have one heck of a story here, so I can't wait to talk about it.
All right, let's first of all talk about how in the world did you...
You know, I am in my 20s. I'm a historian, and I love anything history related. Military history. My grandfather fought in World War II, so I collect World War II memorabilia. But I did war reenactments in my 20s, and it didn't matter what war it was. I've been Russians, I've been Confederate, I've been Union. I just love being a part of history, so I did war reenactments in the 90s. But then that was it. For his film career, I did a documentary with Ken Burns in Atlanta. It was a Civil War documentary. But that was it. And then 20 years later, life happens and, go to jobs. But I never really thought about acting. Loved movies. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I just think television was so much better back then. Every show ended with a message back in the 80s. Even the sitcoms, you had a good message at the end of it. I grew up in that era. And I just loved TV back then, but I was approached. I was at the gym, and I was approached by a trainer she was also an actress, saying that they needed a guy on set in a couple of weeks to be in a fight scene. She said, there's nothing to it. I just need you to stand beside of a pool table while a fight is going on. And first he's like, okay, she's pulling my leg. Anyway, fast forward, it ended up being a movie with Lee Majors. And I got to know some of the stunt men there, and they kind of took me under their wing. And, man, it just took off from there. I've done 3 movies with Lee Majors, and it's been one movie after another. I think I'm at movie 62 right now.
Wow.
And you just never know. There's so much going on in Texas right now. Texas right now is Hollywood. California's coming here.
Right.
There's so much work right now in Texas. The old days, you would have to move to L.A. if you wanted to be an actor. And you hear the hardships. You got to go live on the streets of L.A. or you got to wait tables. Buddy, you don't have to leave Texas anymore. Thanks to people like Taylor Sheridan and all these other indie films that are filming right now in Texas, you can make it as an actor and never leave Texas.
It's amazing stuff. And by the way, thanks for sending the pictures of Lee Majors, too, man. That is just very cool.
That dude, what impressed me is in his 80s, and that guy can still memorize a full page of lines better than any 20-year-old that I've ever been with on set. I'm talking, this dude can still memorize lines. And I remember that was the thing I noticed first is him, how well his memory still is.
Right. But
my mom loved Lee Majors because he was on the Big Valley, right? So
yes.
Most of our parents grew up watching them old westerns. So I had to take her. I took my mom as my date to the red carpet premiere. So she got to meet and talk to Lee Majors, and that was a great night.
Oh, how could it not be? Man. Yeah. Now, you've done some other interesting things, and like I say, one of the funniest things that I have seen that you sent me was the Randy Savage, the Macho Man. You are a dead ringer.
Yeah, I tell you, it's just funny how things work out, and I never thought when I hit 50, I'd be doing Randy Savage. Not just Randy Savage, but in a Super Bowl commercial with Antonio Banderas. And it's shown around the world. I mean, it's just crazy how life turns out and the different chapters of life. And, right now you just kind of roll with it. And then being a Centurion on The Chosen.
I was going to bring that up, too.
Buddy, I tell you what, that show is just such a positive series. It changes people's lives. The atmosphere on the set of The Chosen, you can't even explain it. There's a spirit there that's so positive that you don't want to leave set. A lot of movie sets, when you're done, it's been a long day. You can't wait to get your car. and just be to yourself, buddy, on The Chosen. You literally don't want to leave the set.
Right.
It's just so positive what they're doing over there. The only thing is my character. I played a Centurion soldier, and I think I was being a bodybuilder at that time. I was over 300 pounds, and they didn't have enough leather to cover me, so they were looking for all little pieces to piece my my Roman outfit together.
Right.
So thankfully they didn't show me from the back.
Well, it was impressive looking. I will say that it was impressive looking.
Yes, sir. Well, I had to arrest John the Baptist. My mom wasn't happy about that.
No.
But, Mama said he didn't pay his taxes, so somebody had to arrest him.
There you go. Just following orders, ma'am.
Yes.
Let's bring you forward here. You were familiar with this area before the project. How did you know Palestine?
I knew Palestine. My parents were from Palestine. And there's a little community right outside of Palestine called Tennessee Colony.
Yes.
And my family farm is out there. And my last name being Seagler, they were one of the original families. You can even Google Tennessee Colony, and it mentions Seagler as one of the 5 families that came from Tennessee in the 1830s that founded Tennessee Colony. So I have lineage out there. But I grew up spending my summers out there. And I grew up in Houston, but every summer was spent out there at the farm, cattle, baling hay. But I would go hunting. I loved hunting and fishing. And there was a wildlife preserve out there, and there was a doctor's son, Robert West, good guy, still lives out there. We go duck hunting at the Trinity River bottom. It was flooded timber, hunting mallards. Well, the story was it was the Gus Engling Wildlife Refuge, but
right.
The story was Gus Engling was a game warden that was murdered by a poacher in 1950. And I just thought that was just the craziest story. Everything I heard about this, and the body was hidden. It was the coldest winter in 20 years in 1951. And they didn't find the body for 4 days. Texas Rangers came in, the FBI came in, and when I became an actor, I said, man, we have a story here. This is going to make a movie, man. And when I got to know other producers and filmmakers, they're like, you got to make that. And that's what we're doing, man. We're making this movie. It is a heck of a story. The more family members that we interview, remember this was over 70 years ago.
Right, yes.
But everything that we interview, all the research that we do. Also, this is the first movie, I got to say this. This is the only movie that pays tribute to fallen game wardens. So we're happy about that.
Oh, absolutely. One other interesting fact, at the end of the proof of concept reel you sent me, you put up a number over a 10-year period. There have been how many game wardens killed in the line of duty?
1,000 game wardens. 1,000, and you don't hear about that.
No.
If you think about it, when a game warden answers a call, the other person's always armed, and there is no address. A game warden is going blindly out to these places. You can't call for backup because you can't give nobody an address. You're in these rural counties, this property that's out, these river bottoms. And that's one thing that I love about this movie. We're shining a light on what they actually do and the dangers that they face every day. And without game wardens, people don't realize this. I hear a lot of people that say, man, I used to go fishing here, but I can't catch any fish there anymore. Well, think about that. If everyone kept every fish that they caught,
yes,
there would be nothing for anybody. There has to be laws out there for our lands, our lakes, and our rivers.
Absolutely. You have to be a custodian. You have to manage the resources. Now, obviously, given the story and the time frame between when you heard it and now, obviously this has to be a project of passion for you.
I feel like I have an obligation now. At first, we started out as a movie with a good story. And we said, okay, yeah, this is the first movie we found out that pays tribute to fallen game wardens. But as we started researching, as we started writing this, we realized that the poacher that was accused of shooting the game warden was this poor black farmer that was raising 13 children. He lived off the land.
Right.
And I was like, oh, boy, we got a twist here, man. We got a turn here. There is more to this story. And, buddy, this is going to be one heck of a movie. I can't give away a whole lot.
Right.
But when we went to the courthouse to start to pull up all the records, they're all missing. And man, I'm telling you, yes, you're right. I have to finish this movie. Huntsville State Prison is working with us. We're filming on all the real locations. We actually filmed in the original courtroom that this took place in 1951. We filmed in the old jailhouse. It was built in the 30s. The man playing this poacher actually was in this same jail cell as we're filming. We're trying to stay as true as we can to the story. We think that this movie could overturn a case posthumously. We know he didn't get a fair trial. I'm not saying he didn't do this, but we know he didn't get a fair trial. So there's a lot to this movie. This is not your average movie, and we are dead set on finishing. We have a lot of supporters. That's just been great. The town of Palestine, the town of Tyler, everyone surrounding is Elkhart, Grapeland. Anderson County makes up, I think, 12 cities, but they're all involved in this movie.
Right.
And I cannot wait for the premiere to come out. We probably have about 4 months of filming left. And, buddy, I cannot wait for this thing to come out. No, the 22nd, we got a huge search scene. We got men on horseback, women on horseback. We're going to have bloodhounds from Crockett. Jessica McRae, she raises red-bone hounds. She's bringing the dogs. And we're going back to 1950. All of our scenes is like stepping back in time. Neil Ellington, he is our car guy. He provides the trucks, the cars from that era. In the funeral scene, we had the only operable 1945 hearse that was in the funeral scene. We had World War II vehicles that was in the funeral scene. This movie, we're literally stepping back in time.
Well, I got to say, the proof of concept video you sent me was absolutely amazing. If I was a financier looking at this, I'm going, okay, how do I get involved? Because there's definitely a story here.
Man, I'm telling you, there's nothing else filming like this in Texas. I'm not taking credit for anything, but it's just this story. This story's been waiting 76 years to tell.
Right.
I don't know why a book has not been written. I might write a book on this after this movie. It's just a heck of a story, man. There is nothing. I could not have made up anything better than this story. And we're doing the best we can to film this story. We're trying to stay true to the story. I got some great actors. I think you interviewed one of our lead actors last week, Mr. Larry Wells.
Yes, sir.
In the movie, he plays the president of the Cattlemen Association in the movie. He has a wonderful role. He fits this perfect. All my actors they were cast perfectly for this. I didn't have any scene that I called a buddy up and say, hey, can you be in a movie? This was too important of a story. Everyone had to audition. Everyone had to read lines. Okay. And they had to nail their part. We believe this can go to the Sundance Film Festival. I think it's that good.
It sounds exciting, man, and I'm excited for you. And as we talked over the weekend, that's part of what I like about independent filmmakers. They tell the stories that the big guys won't tell.
It's kind of like watching college basketball.
It's a good point. That's a good analogy. I like it.
When you watch college ball, they're not doing it for money. They're doing it for heart. They haven't made it to the pros yet. They're not in their mansions yet.
Right.
They're not driving their Bentleys just yet. So I like that. I like what you said. Yes, independent filmmaking, man, they sacrifice. Them filmmakers are sacrificing everything to make their film. And that's another reason why I got to make this. I got to make this thing good, man. And it's going to be.
All right, real quick, where can people go to find out more information? Website, Facebook, social media?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have Anderson County movie merchandise now. It's on our Etsy store.
Okay.
But if they want to find out more about the movie, if they want to make any contributions, everything goes to the cost of making this. We're not keeping $1. Everything goes into making this movie. But you would go to AndersonCountyMovie.com.
All right.
My co-producer, Sunny Anglin, she's been the glue that holds this together because it takes a team to make a movie. One person couldn't do all this. I would have had a stroke months ago. It takes a team.
Well, it sounds to me like you put together a pretty darn good team, and this is going to be exciting, and I hope you'll keep us up to date on things happening as the movie progresses along to the grand premiere.
Thank you so much. Buzz, I got to ask you a question. How did you get the name Buzz?
It's actually a pretty long, drawn-out story, and it came along by accident. But one of these days, since I'm running short on time, one of these days you and I, matter of fact, we'll sit down over the weekend, and I'll give you the whole rundown on how that happened.
I'd love to hear it, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Chris, man, thanks for taking time out, buddy. This has been great. This is what I wanted to get accomplished. I wanted to get this out in front of people.
Buzz, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you soon.
You got it. There you go, Chris Seagler. He is the producer, AndersonCountyTheMovie.com.
My name is Gary Brunton. I would like to invite you to